Chapter 8, Section 5 is the law of sines. First thing we have is the tangent of 105. So we enter tangent 105 into our calculator and hit enter, and you end up with negative 3.7. Cosine of 165. Cosine of 165 is negative 0.97, we'll call it. Sine of 93 will be 0.999, let's call it. Tangent of 175 is negative 0.087. Cosine of 92, negative 0.03. And sine of 160 is 0.34. And technically, all of those are supposed to be to the hundredths place, so we should have the second decimal place. That one I did a few more. Law of sines is our next thing. If you have a triangle, and this is angle A, the side that is across from it we call side A. This is angle B, the side that is across from it is side B. And if this is angle C, the side that is across from it is side C. So our law of cosines says the sine of A over A, side A, equals the sine of B over the length of side B equals the sine of C over the length of side C. And we have 6 examples here. For our first example, we are trying to find FG. I'm going to put an X right there. And we will have the sine of 32 over that side equals the sine of 39 over that side, which is 40. When we cross multiply, we will have X times the sine of 39 equals 40 times the sine of 32. You can multiply out and get your decimals right now. I'm going to just divide both sides by the sine of 39. This will cancel out. And then we can enter 40 sine of 32. Make sure you end your parenthesis there. Divided by the sine of 39. And when you enter that, it tells you that our side is 33.68. I'm going to round it to 33.7. Sine of 32 over X equals sine of 39 over 40. Angle Q, this time we're finding the angle. That angle inside are across from each other. So sine of 51 over 8 equals the sine of angle Q over 6, because Q and 6 are across from each other. When we cross multiply, we will have 8 times the sine of Q equals 6 times the sine of 51. We're going to divide both sides by 8, and then we have the sine of Q equals 6 sine of 51 over 8. And I'm going to come up with a decimal for that thing. 6 sine of 51 divided by 8, and that equals 0.582. And then I'm going to do the inverse sine, second which is the sine of -1. And then to pick that answer up, you do second and then answer, and that the calculator just entered that 0.582859471 in there for me. And that tells me that my angle right here is 35.6, and I'm going to round that to 36 degrees. Letter C, that side and that angle are across from each other. So sine of 39 over 22 equals sine of 88 over x. And x is the side length here. Cross multiplying, you have x times the sine of 39 equals 22 times the sine of 88. You can divide and get decimals. I'm going to leave it like this. Divide both sides by the sine of 39. Those cancel out. And entering into your calculator, 22 times the sine of 88 divided by the sine of 39 ends up being 34.9. So this side length is roughly 35 units long. Letter D, we're going to have the sine of 125 over 10, angle and the side across from it, equals the sine of L over 6. Cross multiplying, you will have 10 times the sine of L equals 6 times the sine of 125. And then here, I'm going to divide both sides by 10. So we have 6 times the sine of 125 divided by 10. That equals 0.4914. And now we need to do the inverse sign. And if we hit second and then this negative sign, it brings our answer. And we end up with 29.4. So angle L is right about 29 degrees. Letter E, that side and that angle are right across from each other. So we will have the sine of 50 over 7.6 equals the sine of x over 43. Cross multiplying, you will have 43 times the sine of 50 equals 7.6 times the sine of x. Solving, you're going to divide both sides by 7.6 and entering that in the calculator, 43 sine of 50 divided by 7.6 equals 4.344. Alright, something's wrong there. And if we do second sine, second answer, yeah, I've got somewhere I have an answer or a mistake. Oh, this isn't 43, this is 4.3. Sorry about that. Let's try that. 4.3 sine of 50 divided by 7.6 is 0.433. And now if we do inverse sine and the answer, we end up with 25.6, and that tells us that angle X is right about 26 degrees. Sorry about that mistake in that one. And the last one, trying to figure out AC, we will have sine of 67 over x. Oh, this one we don't have sine of 67 over x. This angle and this side are not across from each other, so we need to figure out what angle A is. And to figure out angle A, we're going to do 180 minus 67 minus 44, and this angle is 69 degrees. So then we have sine of 67 over x equals the sine of 69 over 18. Sine over the side, sine over the side. And then cross multiplying, 18 sine of 67 equals x times the sine of 69. Dividing both sides by the sine of 69, we have 18 sine of 67 divided by the sine of 69, and that equals 17.74. I'll call it 17.7.